This is the standard air-powered pump. Its basic features, such as the pressure regulator, gauge, connectors, hoses, and oil requirements, are the same as its electric cousin. However, it is different in several ways. As with all air turbine motors, this one functions best with a dry and lubricated air supply. This unit should only be connected through its filter regulator lubricator, or FRL assembly, to protect the internal workings of the turbine and extend its working life. The FRL consists of 3 cylinders, to which the air supply line is connected, and the main air supply valve. The first unit after the main air valve is the pressure regulator. This is not to be confused with the regulator on the pump, which controls hydraulic pressure. This one allows the operator to limit incoming air pressure to a range from 80 to 120 psi. About 100 psi is usually ideal. Lift up and turn the knob on top, in or out, to adjust the pressure on its gauge. The speed of the pump depends not just on the pressure, but on the volume of air supplied. For best operation, the pump requires 40 to 50 cubic feet per minute through at least a 3/4 inch supply hose. Next is a filter and water separator designed to clean the air of debris and to screen out water that might corrode the turbine blades. There is a flush button on the bottom of the clear plastic bowl that can be used to drain it as needed. The third cylinder is the lubricator. Its job is to introduce a fine mist of oil into the air supply to keep the internal parts of the motor lubricated and corrosion-free. The bowl of the lubricator should be filled with the same 46 grade hydraulic oil that is used in the pump reservoir. To remove the bowl, press the detent above it and turn the bowl. Notice the small transparent knob on top. When and only when the pump is running, you will be able to see a drop of oil form and then fall into the airstream. By turning the knob in or out, you can regulate how much oil is introduced. Adjust the flow to produce 1 drop about every 30 seconds. Too much oil can clog the muffler and even spray out of the hand control, making a mess. A 4th cylinder can be found on the opposite side of the pump. It looks like a filter, but it is actually a muffler to reduce the noise of the escaping air. The remote control has only 2 buttons, run and stop. With the air turned on, pressing the run button starts the motor. Holding it down pressurizes the pump, sending oil through the tool. Releasing the button shifts the direction of the oil flow, returning the piston and the wrench ready for another cycle. Pressing the stop button turns the pump off. Now that we are familiar with the component parts of the system, let's see how they connect, what to inspect, and how to adjust them for operation. Beginning with the pump, make a visual inspection of the electrical cords, the remote control, the hydraulic hoses and connectors, gauges, and the general condition of the pump, looking for any damage or irregularities. Check the level and the condition of the oil in the reservoir. Remember, clear and amber colored, and do not overfill. Ensuring that your glasses and gloves are in place, connect the pump to its power supply. With the couplers pointing away from any persons, turn on the motor using the remote control. Look and listen for anything out of the ordinary. Press the remote control switch or button, pressurizing the pump, and cycle it a few times, noting the pressure quickly registering on the gauge. Each time you release the button, the gauge will read about 1000 psi, indicating the return pressure. This is controlled by an internal limit valve which you cannot change. Hold the control button down for about 15 seconds. The pressure on the gauge should hold steady as long as you hold the button down. If the needle bounces or the pressure bleeds off, there may be internal problems which require service. At this point, shut the pump off and check for leaks. Connect one or more sets of hoses to the pump. Since the couplers are all connected to the same oil supply, it makes no difference which pair you choose. Insert the hose end into the mating coupler, ensuring that it is completely seated with no gap. Hand tighten the threaded collar until it is fully engaged. Do not use pliers on the couplers, or you will bend them and make it necessary to use tools on them the next time. Finger tight is enough. Now connect any remaining couplers to the pump and follow the same procedure to attach the hoses to the wrench on the other end. With the wrench in a stable place, not attached to a bolt, press and release the remote actuator button several times and observe the hoses stiffen and the wrench ratchet. If the hoses stiffen and the pump pressurizes, but the wrench does not ratchet, check the couplers. One has loosened or was not fully engaged. Hold the button down for about 10 seconds and again make sure that the gauge comes up to pressure and holds steady, and that there are no leaks in the system. You are now ready to go to work.